medicine. He's a registered pharmacist and also a Baptist minister. And boy, can he talk and does a great job, and you're in for a treat tonight. And Dr. Rouse is also our medical advisor at Xperia. And before we get started, I just want to let everybody know, if you got your blast, you had a title that said, "Do this and you'll gain 15 pounds this year in 2011." And that came from Dr. Rouse, and he found something that we need to find out about so that we do not gain those 15 pounds here in 2011. And I think if we'll all follow his advice, which I have, he taught me this, and I did it. It took me a long time to do it, and it was hard. But I'm so glad that I did, because my health is so much better, and I lost a lot of weight while doing that. But without further ado, I want to check and make sure that Dr. Rouse is with us.
Hey, Jack. Dr. Rouse is in the house, and we appreciate the introduction.
Well, thank you, Dr. Rouse. It's a pleasure to have you on the call tonight. And again, let's go over that title, our subject matter for tonight, and then I'll turn it over to you, and you can tell us why we don't want to do this. But do this, and you'll gain 15 pounds this year. What is this?
Oh, my goodness. We're talking about soda pops, and whether it's sweetened with sugar or artificial sweeteners, either or, those soda pops are playing havoc with our good health. And when we look at the world of sugar, we know that detrimentally the overproduction, the overuse is definitely damaging, but the chemicals, both in the sugar-free colas, they create a witch's brew. They are just full of health dangers that create a whole lot of problems. And when they started studying, the British were first. They were like away from us, because we're sort of looking after our Dr. Pepper, our Coca-Cola, our Pepsi-Cola. And we say, look, don't mess with us on that. But when the British started looking at it, they found that when a child's cellular structure, the fat cells, are beginning to mature, if that child has been in the presence of high fructose corn syrup, that's a sugar that's been run through a vat that makes it chemically altered, even too much mercury, can you believe it? Mercury in fructose, but much more higher in calorie count. And when their fat cells begin to mature, these children begin to grow up, the fat cells themselves were just way out of whack, and they found that the obesity problem that's coming for our children and grandchildren, the ones behind us, are just overwhelming, and it's all related to the high fructose corn syrup in their sweet drinks. And then over on our side, we had so much trouble with problematics because our generation grew up with saccharin and then aspartame and now sucralose, the Splenda. And those things are directly related. You cannot lose weight on a diet soda. Cannot do it. The brain will not allow it. It messes with leptin and adiponectin and all kinds of things. And secondly, they started measuring the sodium benzoate, and they found that all of the soda pops, every one of them, use a smidgen of sodium benzoate to prevent mold infestation. It's in the drinks so that the yeast or the mold won't grow. And unfortunately, when sodium benzoate ever comes in contact or in conjunction with vitamin C, it produces a carcinogenic, cancer-producing substance called benzene. So sodium benzoate in the soda pop, in the presence of vitamin C, which is everywhere, can become a cancer producer. And that's a very significant relationship or correlation between a high risk of esophageal cancer, or pancreatic cancer. We're wondering, where in the world did such high numbers for esophageal and pancreatic cancer come from? And Charlieology is thinking, wow, we may have a direct correlation there in all these soda pop drinkers. The third major medical problem is bone density, bone fractures. There's no doubt that every soda pop that people drink has phosphoric acid in it, and when you give it's what gives that drink the bite. You know, people don't want their cola to be flat. Phosphoric acid is what gives that drink a bite, and phosphoric acid leaches calcium from the bones. So diet sodas are just as much to blame as sweetened, sugary fructose sodas in relationship to that. And when they started looking at diet sodas being consumed in such quantities, they realized that healthy women who normally would have good bone density coming up with osteopenia and osteoporosis just from their drinking of soda pops. Another thing is that dentists are now telling us, you know, we're seeing all the commercials on TV for whitening your teeth, but the direct correlation to the yellowing of the tooth is the phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid leaches not only calcium from your bones, but it hurts the tooth enamel. It erodes the tooth enamel to make it more yellowy. And normally your spit, your saliva, will be alkaline. It's just designed by God to be alkaline. But when you drink soda pops with the phosphoric acid, you now make your mouth spit more pH acid, and that causes the erosion and the yellowing and the degeneration of the tooth. Another thing that health benefits that are against, you know, that the soda pops are causing is a phenomenal rate in bad cholesterol. They're studying now in heart health and circulation health, and they find that people who drink one soft drink per day are 25 times now more likely to develop high blood triglycerides, that's a fat, and 32% more likely to have low levels of HDL, good cholesterol. And we know that when you don't have good cholesterol, you're going to have a bad heart. So one soda pop a day puts you at risk for heart attacks and strokes. Now, they're not going to put that on the bottle, are they? I don't think. But maybe one day they'll be about as aggressive there as they were with a cigarette pack. Another reason that soda pops are damaging and dangerous to the human health is that sodium benzoate that we talked about in there being for yeast protection, it has the ability, sodium benzoate can turn off the switch that's very vital to your DNA. Now, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, is extremely important in your physical health. And when you turn your DNA off with one soda pop a day, you can cause cirrhosis of the liver. And you thought cirrhosis of the liver is more of a person's drinking alcohol or ethanol. No, you just heard it. Medical research is showing that one soda pop a day can affect your DNA to such a degree that you can cause cirrhosis of the liver. Now, you start turning your DNA off, sodium benzoate can do that. There's a shaking disease called Parkinson's disease, a degenerative disease called Parkinson's, that's related to brain dysfunction of DNA deficiency, and sodium benzoate can turn DNA off, causing you to be more susceptible to chemistry damage to the brain, which includes getting Parkinson's disease. No wonder we're seeing such a high prevalency of Parkinson's in the world today. And then we go back to the Harvard medical studies, And we realized when they started doing, they found that women who drank one soda pop a day that was on the sugary side, that had the fructose corn syrup in it, that the risk factor of that one soda pop a day woman was extremely high in developing adult onset diabetes compared to that woman who drank water or tea without sugar. Different things that were in relationship to a non-sugar drinker and a high fructose corn syrup drinker. Diabetes was standing out like a sore thumb. Next on the list of soda pop drinkers is a medical condition that has become very prevalent in America called GERD. We know it as heartburn, reflux, indigestion. And the studies are clearly showing us that people who drink soda pops, both artificially sweetened and sugary sweetened, suffer way, way, way more gastroesophageal reflux than people who don't drink soda pops. And the reason is sodas boost the acid side. And because of that, these people who are into that, they have chronic high acid levels, phosphoric acid levels, etc., that can inflame the lining of the duodenum, and that's not a good thing. So leaving that said is said enough. Another medical reason for soda pop drinkers to give it up and to get very serious about this is that when they started studying aspartame, the equal side of the non-sugary artificial sweetener, they discovered there were 92 side effects, 92 major side effects associated with aspartame, and they were looking at them with brain damage, 92 brain-damaging problems. Aspartame can create, excite, and a growth of brain tumors, emotional disorders. There are people that get discombobulated, that get mean, aggressive, depressed, melancholic, just because of the artificial sweetener in their soda pop. So emotional disorders related to that. I have physically known, seen, and have personal knowledge of ladies who drink aspartame soda pops who have neurological damage that shows up like multiple sclerosis. They don't have multiple sclerosis, but they have all of the symptoms of it. And when they started looking at the brain issues, they said, well, okay, now that we got it, in Atlanta, Georgia, by the way, where they were doing this, home of Coca-Cola, they decided to take a group of Georgia State University kids, and they found that the diet in high fructose corn syrup, the one that's regular, normal sugar soda pop, impaired the memory of rats. So in the Georgia State University technology, they found that high fructose corn syrup was messing with the rat's ability to remember and to think straight. So colas are not all that safe. And then at the University of Colorado, in a recent study, they did a study on the effects of dieting high in fructose corn syrup, and they realized that because of the obesity problem, because of the blood sugar fluctuations, because of the syndrome X, that people who drank one soda pop a day were putting themselves at risk for high blood pressure. And they found that people who consumed 74 grams, 74 grams of high fructose, or fructose on a day-to-day basis, that would be the equivalency of four soft drinks a day, that those people were always on that borderline of high blood pressure. We're talking about young kids who should never be that close to hypertension. And when they started factoring it out, they said, look, there is a direct clinical correlation between this soda pop and your high blood pressure. So do you get the message? Another medical problem that came into research and to play was that when they started looking at colas ruining people's health, they found that people who drink soda pops are more likely to develop kidney stones. And in the medical journal called Epidemiology, they found that people who drink two or more colas per day, diet or fructose, regular or diet, they doubled 2 times, 50%, double the risk of developing chronic kidney disease. That's even worse than just kidney stones. So it's a major factor out there. Another issue that's now coming to light in this American Journal of Epidemiology, they found that men who drink more than 1 quart of cola per day, and by the way, that's one big glassful down at McDonald's. People who drink 1 quart of Coca-Cola per day, the men did, it lowered their sperm count 30%. 30% lower than those who did not drink soda pops. And, with that kind of classification, they're now saying that chronic soda pop drinkers are becoming infertile, all related. Whenever I give medical counseling to young men and women who are married and looking to have babies, one of the issues we always deal with is, look, it's going to be tough, but you've got to come off of soda pops to make everything work better, to make higher factory. So then the question always comes, but Dr. Charlie, what about the woman who's going to get pregnant? Now listen very carefully. Women who are pregnant and drink artificial sweetened soda pops are much higher risk of miscarriages, much higher. The percentages now in the American Journal of Epidemiology is showing that it could be as high as 38% higher risk of expectant mothers miscarrying just because of the aspartame and the chemistry in that soda pop. And that when a mother drinks more than 4 cans per day, that 38% miscarriage jumps to 78%. So is there a direct correlation? Absolutely. It is absolutely foolish for us to bury our head and to say, I don't see any medical reasoning behind it. And my final health reason, and I could go on and on, Jack, I could just mention on and on, but researchers at the University of British Columbia up in British Vancouver, and after they got through, they allowed the medical school in Boston, Harvard Medical School, to verify their facts. And they found that men who consume the highest levels of fructose, the high fructose corn syrup, the sweetener that's in a cola, they doubled 2 times, double their chances of getting gout. Tell me that soda pops are good in any shape, fashion, or form. Okay, I don't mind you drinking a soda pop, but maybe 1 a year, 1 per year max. And even then you're going to have to think about it, because I don't think most people have even heard half of what I've told them tonight. But in order to kick that soft drink habit, it's a critical step in getting healthy. And if we're going to avoid it, then we're going to be on the right track for 2011 and getting healthier. And truly, if you're going to get out from under the umbrella of the heavy arm of diabetes, type 2 diabetes, it ain't going to happen if you don't give up soda pops. And people with osteopenia, you're going to have osteoporosis before you know it. And the truth is that people that don't have a healthy brain or a neurological system, I would think very highly about first and foremost looking at it. And now we've done, and I presume that some of this stuff is still posted somewhere, I've done a 30-minute lecture in totality just on the dangers of high fructose corn syrup. And it's found in everything from soda pops to crackers. Can you believe it? Crackers, salad dressings. I think Jack and myself, after we got through last time talking high fructose corn syrup, we all started taking issue. I know my wife and I, we went through everything in our refrigerator. It was amazing. The ketchup that we had was high fructose corn syrup. The peanut butter was high fructose corn syrup. It's a world of trying to poison us. Now, high fructose corn syrup is sugar, corn corn sugar, that's run through a vat, V-A-T, of caustic soda. Caustic soda. Soda that's actually laden and has trace minerals of mercury in it. And there's no way, humanly speaking, that the human body would ever appreciate a sugar sweetener that's been run through some kind of caustic soda vat. It may taste good, but actually it's sweeter than the human tongue is created to tolerate. And you'll find, unfortunately, that high fructose corn syrup is addictive. They do it. They put it in their crackers and in their ketchup and in their peanut butter and in their Bluebell ice cream because they want you to be addicted to their product. They don't give a hoot about who's healthy. So to better health, have a cola? No, thank you. I'm a water drinker. There's no doubt about it. And did you learn anything tonight, Jack?
I sure did, and I know. And the reason we had tonight's call, and we'll have many, many more. As you learn, if you're new to Xperia, you're going to find out that this company truly cares about your health and your children's health, and we try our best to bring something to you that can improve that. And this will be one of those things. Or Dr. Rouse, this happened to me because I'll have to admit, many years ago, I was an avid Coke drinker. I drank about 4 or 5 a day, and I soon realized that I was really addicted to those Cokes. But it was hard to get off. I really had to take some baby steps. I had to cut those 4 or 5 down to 3, and then down to 2, and then down to 1. And during that time, it was tough for me to go to water. So like you said, I went to sweet tea, and then I had to cut, with regular sugar. Then I had to cut that down and go to unsweet tea, and then go to water. So it took a lot of steps to get off those Cokes, but it has been many years. I will not touch a Coke. I don't desire a Coke, but or any soda. So, and then hearing you tonight, these are some new things that I learned. I did, want to kind of cover our main subject too. Not only the health side, but we've got a lot of people that are taking the Xperia products, which in my opinion are the best products in the world. It's the best weight loss products in the world that you've developed and Christopher has developed. And but if we're taking those and we've got this New Year's resolution to lose this weight and get better health, and someone is still drinking the soda, and the big thing that I saw that we started this call and talked about this call for tonight was that a single can of soda per day can add as much as 15 pounds to your weight over the course of a single year, not to mention increasing your risk of diabetes by 85%. So if we're trying to lose weight, Dr. Rouse, with these wonderful Xperia products, and we're drinking 1 to 2 Cokes a day or more, how's that weight how is that going to happen for us?
Yeah, you're making the world's best the most difficult challenge. One, let's say it's a sweetened by, sugary content, then we know that we are creating a roller coaster of insulin up, insulin down, and it just isn't going to happen. The fat cells are not going to release. Let's say that person is on a diet soda, and every bit of that chemistry, whether it's Splenda or whether it's aspartame, it directs the brain. It's like a brain stimulation excitotoxin that says, tell the brain, more ravenous, hungrier, do not curb appetite, do not let adiponectin or leptin do its work. And unfortunately, diet sodas cause people to have binges and cravings and difficulty. So nobody loses with a soda pop.
So as we're, and this is, and we see many, many times, I see this, and I know the parents are thinking they're doing the right thing. Maybe a child is overweight, or maybe a child is just says, the parent will say, I don't want you drinking that regular soda. So they're at lunch, I see them at a restaurant drinking diet soda, and that's just really hurting that child, and they don't know it.
And a diabetic, the worst thing in the world they could do is take in an artificial chemistry. You know, their body's trying to get balance. Their body's wanting natural, good, healthy wholesomeness. And people who have already come up to this point, our Aloe Red and our Is Life are so designed to detox, undo the damage. So it's not hopeless. We can help you to get maximized and really win this war.
And that brings up another one of our last subjects too. Is you know, you told us many times that the majority of Americans have fatty livers. We've got to take care of our fatty liver first before we start losing that weight. And we're still drinking those sodas, so we're just so it's going to be an endless war, correct?
Yeah, it is. It's like one step forward and two back. How far am I going to get? I can get you to take a step forward. And with that encouragement, because when we give you the good nutrition, we detox your liver today, you're going to feel exhilarated. You're going to feel alive. And they just don't correlate that it's in that drink that made them feel lousy. Quit it and let me get you two steps forward and then go one back, and I can get you to where you need to go in no time.
Well, give us an alternative with the few minutes that we have left. I know you had mentioned tea. I know there's black tea, regular black tea, and then whether hot or cold.
This morning for breakfast, I had I use alkaline water, but you could use any good, pure, wholesome spring water. And in my drink, I had 2 scoops of Is Life, 2 scoops of Aloe Red, a scoop of OPC, and that's a very refreshing, invigorating drink. Tonight, just before the call tonight, I was thirsty again, so I gussied up my water. I put OPC, Aloe Red, and Is Life in there, and the combination of the 3 just made a very pleasant, smooth drink. Green tea is excellent. Last week we talked about if you're going to brew tea, see about getting a tea bag that's not been bleached white. Tea bags that are bleached white, they bleach them with dioxin. That's known as Agent Orange. So why bring another chemistry to the body? Get you an all-natural. It's not like, well, I don't want to be a fanatic about it, but for a nickel more, you can have an all-natural bag of green tea versus one that's dioxin. That dioxin is in that tea bag.
Well, I learned something. I learned a gold nugget tonight because I did not pay attention to that, and I like green tea. So definitely, if it's white bag, do not use it. We need to get a natural, where it's more of a natural color.
Right, it's been bleached with dioxin. Matter of fact, Google dioxin, dioxin, and up comes Agent Orange, and up comes the tea bag and the coffee filter business. They're into it. I mean, America we just like things prettier, brighter, and whiter, and unfortunately, it hurts us. Well,
and now if someone wants to drink the regular, unsweet iced tea, or let's say it might be hard to go from the such sweetness of the soda, and they want their tea to be sweet, can you give us some, which I know one great one, the xylitol, to use as a substitute, which we use in our Burst, which I know that has many health benefits. Is there anything else besides xylitol if they can't find that?
Yeah, and in the family of stevia, there are species of stevia. And Coca-Cola now owns the stevia, which is the world's best tasting. They call it Rabo, R-A-B-O, Rabo. And if you'll find a stevia that has Rabo in there, that species, your tongue will just deliciously love it. I can't wait. I just wish that the Coca-Cola industry would just switch to the Rabo stevia now and get rid of aspartame and Splenda. And then at least they could say we're healthy, with the exception of the phosphoric acid and the benzene. They're going to come back at us. But at least they would be healthy on one part of the drink.
Right. Well, I know, so we need to, and again, before we close, you had mentioned this earlier, we need to pay attention to all the foods. You discussed this, I guess, months ago. We had a call on this, and look at all your foods for high fructose corn syrup. And you're right. I found so many. Roy and I had a throwing away party. We threw a lot of stuff away and went out and started searching. And we actually found some without high fructose corn syrup, especially ketchup. I know Hunt's has one that they actually put on there in big letters, no high fructose corn syrup. And Heinz, which I like, has an organic one with none in there. So we did that also and feel so much better. I even put up on the internet side, I went ahead and put up Jamie's comment about 25 years ago that stopped using soda. So that was a really great comment too. And but before we close, is there anything else you could tell us that we definitely, I know we had some questions, but we've run over time. We really need to do this again on some other subjects too on high fructose corn syrup.
We'll do that in the coming year. We'll talk about staying healthy, no doubt. Yeah, definitely. Look for HFCS. That's a 4-letter word, and it's in soft drinks, fruit juices, baked goods, canned fruits, dairy products, cookies, gums, jams. You name it, it's out there. It's almost like it's a cotton-picking conspiracy. Let us have our healthiness. Give it back. Give us something good and wholesome and healthy. We'll eat it. And one thing you can do is get the products from Xperia, because we know that the amounts of sweetening in our product, the true fructose is organic. We're using cane crystal, which is different from corn, and it's really good for you. It's wholesome. It's healthy.
So the fructose we use is also good for diabetics.
Absolutely. We did the studies we did. We wanted to make sure we didn't spike anybody with diabetes and throw their sugars into a discombobulated conniption fit.
Okay, good. So, last thing, and I know a lot of people are going to do their best to get off the sodas, and they want their livers cleaned out. They don't want cirrhosis of the liver. They want to be clean and working, and plus they want to lose some weight. So, what are the number one products in his Xperia to get us to get our liver cleansed out quickly?
Okay. Aloe Red and Isleen are your liver cleansers. Go ahead and do that while you're doing whatever. Okay. And then you can bring on your Select, you can bring on your Calorie Free, your OPC, your Is Life. All of those are fat burners. They're all structurally going to help you to lose weight. But Aloe Red and Is Lean are liver cleansers.
Okay, and definitely of the Aloe Red, make sure we're taking at least, 2 scoops a day, if not 3 or 4?
If not 3 or 4, that's
okay.
Right.
Well, good. Well, Dr. Rouse, what a great call we had tonight, and I learned a lot, and definitely those tea bags, I'll make sure they're not white, bleached out, because I do not want to take Agent Orange. Anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Rouse. A great call, and thanks, everybody, for being on the call, and we'll see. We have a call Thursday night, a very exciting call Thursday night with our corporate staff that you do not want to miss. Same time, same station. Thanks, everyone, and have a great night.
God bless. Bye-bye.